Hello, all. My name is Kevin Sneed, and I'm here to share with you about my time at City Impact Church in San Francisco. And City Impact is located in the Tenderloin district of San Francisco. And I want to share a bit about the Tenderloin before going forward. There are roughly 37,000 people that live in the Tenderloin currently. And the Tenderloin is an area of about 35 square blocks. So that is 300 times more crowded than any other part of San Francisco. They estimate on top of that 37,000 that there are about 6,000 additional homeless that live in the streets or walk through the Tenderloin on any given day. When I attended the church, I was able to attend a prayer and worship service. One of the things I noticed right away is that the congregation matches the diversity of the community. The community is very racially diverse, economically diverse, and the congregation seemed to match that diversity in the community around them. Like I said, I was able to attend a prayer service, and it was really a great experience to see this church that is really shaped by prayer, in my estimation. The service was played out, like this. It wasn't too strange or different than I was accustomed to, but it opened with about a 10-minute time block for open share time, where they were sharing testimonies. They had just people come up and talk about what God had been doing in their lives. Right after that, they moved into a time of engaging worship, with a full worship band. And then after a couple songs, they had a designated prayer time. But they instructed us during that prayer time that it was not that the person up front was leading prayer, but they encouraged all of us to pray aloud, to pray for one another, and to engage in prayer, not just about themselves. So they repeated that a couple times, where we did some worship, did some prayer, did some worship, did some prayer. And then we closed with really a time of intentional fellowship, where they encouraged us to spend time together, talk with one another, pray with one another, and really engaging at a fellowship level. But one of the things I really want to discuss about City Impact is that the church gathering is merely just kind of one component of their ministry. In their ministry, they have a rescue mission, which is primarily for the homeless in an emergency situation. They pass out food, health kits, that sort of thing. Another branch is the City Academy, which is a fully functioning K-8 school for the children in the Tenderloin. The third program is an adopted building, where each week they have groups of people that have adopted buildings. They go to the same building every week, where they are in discipleship groups. They bring food to those in need, and are intentional about weekly connecting with that same building. They have a health and wellness center, which is dedicated towards more long-term needs as far as in health and wellness. And lastly, as they have social enterprises, what they call TL Made, where they have actually equipped those living on the streets and given them jobs to create and sell goods and whatnot in there. I was able to sit down with one of the pastors, Sean Brakey, and he really shared this, that one of the phrases they continue to use in their congregation is that it's not about the gathering, but it's about the scattering. That their focus is really, he quantified it at 90% of what their ministry is about is not focused on the Sunday gathering. I was shocked to hear that, but at the same time, I can see it being reinforced in everything they do. That really, they don't spend a whole lot of time planning their gatherings, but rather 90% of what they do is out in the streets, ministering with people. I asked them, with a need that large, how do you focus in on what God would have you do? And he said there's kind of two lenses that they focus through. Does it mobilize believers into the community, and does it lead people to Jesus? And if it doesn't fit either of those, then they really don't engage in it, which is evident in their mission statement, which is, we exist to intervene on behalf of the people of the inner city of San Francisco. Without a doubt, they are a missional community. Their community of believers are shaped by mission and service towards the community. As far as the ethics kind of driving them, I kind of picked up on a couple. The first being, it seemed most obvious, was the Christ-likeness and justice. It is evident that they exist to struggle for justice for the community of the Tenderloin. They've been there for 30 years, and they really have no intention of leaving. But their hope is to become a transforming community in holistic ways, breaking the cycle of poverty, leading people to Jesus, and breaking those injustices for their community. Second, I picked up the mission of the church. The mission of their church and their hope is not to create a large church, but to rather mobilize believers into buildings, into the streets, to transform the community around them. And lastly is social change. They are looking to bring social change to that area. They envision and are attempting to retell the story of the Tenderloin for the hope of Jesus by bringing that justice to the community. So hopefully you enjoyed my couple minutes sharing here, and thanks for listening.